And I'm Kavya Patnaik. I lead AI and edge device development here at Sigma Connectivity in Lund. My background is predominantly in automation, digital twins, and hence I progressed to AI because they are very complementary. I have a master's in embedded systems and I have bachelor's in electrical engineering. So yes, I'm an engineer through and through. My master's I graduated from University of Leicester in Leicester, UK, and engineering I did it back from my home country, India. Oh, I am a qualified classical dancer. Yes, I learned, practiced, and kind of performed for like 14 years throughout my school. I think my colleagues see a maybe very small portion of that here. So I'm very creative in that way, but it doesn't come out in dancing as such. What attracted me to Sigma was the wide variety of customers and industries that they were engaged with at that point. I found that very interesting and very beneficial for me, just to know what's happening in the world, and you're almost always at the forefront of what's happening. So that kind of attracted me to Sigma. At Sigma here, I am predominantly responsible for artificial intelligence and the devices on which we deploy artificial intelligence, the development of those. So in short, it is AI and edge device development. That's what I'm responsible for. That means that I have teams that work on both sides of the coin. One side is where we develop models, train models, and for specific use cases, and then the other side is where we deploy these models on different kinds of devices, which is a completely different skill set. So these two aspects of the engineering is where I'm kind of my sweet spot is, I guess. Yeah. All right. AI being predominantly a new area for a lot of different industries. We only hear the big news where it's already been working. AI has been working for a decade or so, because that's where the big innovations are coming from. But about 80% of the industries are still in a stage where the digitization journey is midway or even earlier than that. So we have different approaches to these different kinds of customers. So initially, because we are a very device development oriented company, our engagement begins with device development, and then customers that actually are looking at how do we improve and make our devices more intelligent. It could be just data collection and analytics, or it could be kind of AI on the edge. So that is where we enter. My team enters, we go in and do an assessment for the company as to where they are currently with their digitization journey and see where should they start. Some companies don't even have the data to actually train the models that they would need. So we start from there, doing an assessment as to where that company is, and then we start the engagement depending on which level we need to start engaging. So it could be data generation, it could be actually model training and development, it could be actually that they already have models and we just have to deploy the models on the edge. Some companies have actually already done that, but they have not figured out how to do them efficiently. So you have power constraints, memory constraints, and other constraints on devices that are very small. So how to make the deployment of the AI very efficient on the edge, that is where we support as well. So multiple areas or points of entry for the customer. There's been a lot of hype, I would say, since ChatGPT, I guess. 22, I guess, three years now. We are hearing a lot of noise, huge investments going into the area of ML and AI and ML. But where I feel the most innovative and really purposeful changes are going to come through are at the lower level. Consumer electronics per se, your washing machine or your vacuum cleaner being more efficient and more intelligent, that actually saves time for you on a day-to-day basis. That is where the volume is going to come. So a lot of volume in small devices is where we are looking at. That is how ML is going to make life better in the future, by saving time for us. That's the biggest innovation that can happen. We of course will hear a lot of news of physical AI and robots and everything else, and models that can strategize and tell you what to do. But we have enough people and things telling us what to do. We need things to do things themselves so that we can save the time, so that we can do the thinking. That is where the innovation is going to come from.